Hello guys, I'm back again for the next part. Now I've just pinned this down on this side. I've done the pins and needles in that colour. I've stitched down here and here. I've stitched this down just with some thread. Just a bit of stitching and done all the way around. So haven't done much else. I still may do some embroidery on that, but I'll see how I go. So what I want to do, rather than using this, because that's all I've got left of this beautiful fabric, so I probably would like to use it somewhere else in another thing, because it's just so pretty. So what I want to do is I've cut this up and then I've folded it over twice. So I want to stick that there. So I just use the pinking shears. That's a piece from the pack as well. It's just gorgeous. So pretty. So that's going to be like a little pocket on that one piece. So I might just hold it down here. Seems weird, I know, but when we do the edging, so what you do with the edging, I've just gotten a piece like about 2 inches wide, and then you iron it, so you're left with about an inch. That's going to be the binding around the outside. So with this bit here, so what I've done is I've just folded it like that, so you know whereabouts that fold will be, and then that fold will be there like that. So what I've done, I've pinned this down so that when I do the edging, it will go over that. Now I've picked up my bit of felt, so I might give it a bit of an iron. A bit creased. So this is a little bit of the thicker fabric, and it didn't come too much through because it had the layers. When I did the stitching, I just stitched through so you didn't see it coming out this side. That way you get to see a little bit of this pretty fabric. So what I'm going to do is I fold that in half. Maybe I should iron that in half, so we know where that is. And then here it's a little bit thinner piece, so I'll iron that in half as well. So I just cut the edges of that with the pinking shears. Okay, so now I've got it lined up here. I want to be able to know where that is. I did mark it, but you can't see it. Where is it? Here we go. So move that out of the way a little bit. So that's going to be a pocket. So when I sew the binding on the edge, that will hold that. I'll have to stitch this bit by hand. So I could probably maybe do that bit first, because everything else is going to be stitched on. Sort of a lighty creamy colour, I might use that. Now, so how we all going? Hope you like my first instalment. It is quite a lovely little piece, this. So just using a pearl cotton, then I'm gonna just make sure that you don't go through to the front. Just pick it up and give it a good stitch. and because it's on, you know, you won't be able to see that. You can feel it with your finger. Make sure that that doesn't move. Oh, excuse my dishwasher, because I am in the kitchen now. I get dishwasher noises and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I'll do this first. Makes it a little bit easier to work with our little felted piece. Now bits like this, where they haven't really got anything, you just grab those bits. You really do want to hold it down, because if you're going to put anything in this pocket, you don't want it coming out. So, like this underneath. Might even grab it together. There we go. And then once that's sewn and we've sewn around the other side, you can always re-check it once all the other edges have been done. Okay. So there's a little bit of machine sewing in this one when you put the edge on, and then you stitch the rest up by hand. I mean, you can stitch it on the machine, but it's always nice to do it by hand. Okay. Now this has got a bit of oomph to it, so should be able to grab a fair bit, and see, you'll see you haven't seen any of that on that side, because it's fairly thick piece of quilt. So, which is why you haven't seen any of the stitching coming out this side. So I do get to enjoy some of this. Okay, well, I'm going to finish up. Oop. Grab this bit because it's sticking out. There we go. Now, so that's what we do there. And now I'm going to, I think I need to stitch this on first. Line it up, it's with that one. So I'll stitch that across there, and that's going to go all the way across. So on your sewing machine. So pin that down and then give your, I'll pin it down in the middle. This. Hopefully shouldn't move. I'll even pin it down here and here so it doesn't move on me. Okay, so what I would do is I would probably start there and then go all the way across. So it's going to go through there, but that's okay. Okay, I'll pause it. I'll be back. Okay, I am back again, and I'll show you what else I did too. I'll put these back in there. So I sewed it here, which gives it that line that goes across, which gives it that definite line here to give you that where it closes. So what I've done is I folded that over there like that, and I pinned here and here, and then I've sewn across there. So that way there is a definite, it'll go like that, place where you can fold it. We're going to put a little button, that's why I've gone a little bit low. I'm going to put a button there and have a little like I just used some wool, which actually I should do, thinking of that before. See, I didn't do that beforehand, so it was sticking out. So what we need to do is pick ourselves. So what I need to do now, so that's there like that, okay, and it's all good, it can stay open like that, and these and that are going to be staying there. It looks so pretty. Okay, pick myself a button. I actually don't mind. I don't mind that one, and I've got plenty of them. These are that one, or that one. Let's look. Okay. Oh, I think that's nice. That's probably too pink, and that's nice too. So it's going to be either that one or that one. Okay, so we'll pick out our button. And what I did with this wool here is I just got some wool. So I might grab, that works really well. I might grab some of these little bits. And then I got 3 bits of wool, the amount that I wanted. Okay, probably about, I'll do about that much. Okay, put a knot in it. Probably don't even need that much. That's probably way too much, but you know. Oh, might get another knot a bit further down. And then what we need to do is over there. Hopefully I'm still in camera here. I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of a thing here, and then we are going to proceed to plait. That's what I do with this one. This is probably a bit thin. This. So remember they're doing the old piggy tails. We'll probably do that with some thicker. Oh. I think it may need to be thicker thread. What I've got on that, it is a bit thicker. Yeah. So, but you get the idea of what we need to do. You know what I could probably do is, it's a bit thin, is I can tie a knot in it again. Double up. Do that. I think that's probably going to be better. And then do 2. Oh. That's brilliant, wasn't it? 2. Yeah, that was a bit thin. Okay, it only just needs to be big enough to do a loop. I think that's probably going to be better. There we go. Yep. supposed to be easy, but it's not. So I could probably pause that so you don't have to endure me trying to attempt, but you know what I mean. And then, yeah, and I'll finish that off. Won't be long. Okay, back again. So I've plaited that, but what I just realised, it's got to sit here. So I'm probably going to maybe put it there like that, and maybe even have a button over the top of it, or put that over the top of it. I don't know, because then that has got to go like this over there. So I was, you know, like if I had done it this way, I could have sewed it in with it, but no, because it's folded 3 ways. Now, what we need to do is, okay, so what we're going to do is, and I'll start probably on the side, and I might pin this down so it ain't going to move anywhere. Okay, and we'll start, yeah, pin that down there, in there as well. So what we need to do is, so we'll start somewhere along here like that, but we do it on the outside, about there. Okay, then we sew, like we pin it down. There's my little pin cushion. Ugh. And when you get to the corner here, I don't know if you know how to do a corner stitch. You fold over like that, go up, okay, when you're sewing, sort of do a mitered corner, and then you go down, so up, so it goes on a triangle, hold it, and then go down. Okay, so that be pinned. So once again, up and then down. So when you do sew, you've got this little pleat going there, you got to sew to there, then fold that down, lift up, and then sew down. It's hard at one of these. If you're not comfortable with it, you can always just round it off like that, and then you sew as you go. So so we're going to be pinning that and going all the way around, and okay, so up, down, so I've got a bit of an idea. This is how you do quilted edging, actually. And if you want to know how to do that, this is a piece that's being sewn together. You can always go online. So we're going to be sewing around about 1/4 inch when you sew on there, so it's about there, about that wide, which is usually a spot on your sewing machine, is about that much. Or like I said in a previous video, as long as it's the same width all the way around, it doesn't really matter. So you need a longer bit than what you think you need, because it's got to go all the way around. Okay, now the reason why I'm going all the way, that's going to catch everything else that's on the inside. Like, see, that'll catch that lace, but you have to make sure that it's there, and then that goes there like that. Okay, Now when you get to this bit, where are we? I usually leave about that much, cut that off, and you sew to say about there, so we'll leave a mark, sew to there, and when you start sewing you probably start about here, so you'll have that little bit left over. So what you do is you open that up. It's tricky, sewing is tricky. Or you can buy bias, and then you find out, now these bits need to be sewn together, and so you find out whereabouts it is. So it's about that much in. I mean, if you don't want to do this edging stuff, you can always do a blanket stitch or something like that around the edge. So that'll be that, just, you know, that's sewn together like that, you know, so you'll you know, you cut it and sew it together, and then this is going to fold over, and then we hand stitch on the inside. So if that is too tricky, like I said, get yourself a good, because it's got a running stitch around the outside anyway. Do a blanket stitch with even with your sewing machine, or even a zigzag stitch. That's fine too, but I quite like having it this little edgy bit around there. So that's for yeah, so just grab make sure that you catch this end pieces when you're sewing, and this as well. So, well, I will catch you when it's all being sewn, and I'll come back. But zigzag is just as good. Okay, we're back again. Now, I've stitched around. I didn't always never always goes according to plan. So it is stuck on. Okay, get all the little draggy bits off. And doing the method of you know, zigzagging is a little bit easier, and you could probably always cut it with this at the end, but I quite like doing this because I'm a bit of a quilter. So what we're going to do, that didn't sit properly, so I'm going to have to get that to go there after. So this has been sewn on, okay? So what we're going to do is get some thread. I'll just pin this, get the pin, and fold that over. And then we're just going to get some pink cotton thread and give it a slip stitch all the way around, so that will go, see how that folds over, and that'll fold over like that. Okay, get this. I'll sew that when that comes over to that side. There we go. So that's been held down twice. See, that goes over there like that. That way you hide all the little scraggly bits when you fold it over. Pins. Okay. Switch it over. I'm just going to keep going because I want you to see what it looks like on the other side. So this pulls over. Got a little pocket there. And a little pocket there. Okay, looks so pretty. It'll be pinned down there too. So, yeah, I'll keep going. Then I'll pause it and I'll slip stitch all the outside of it. This is if you do want to learn this, it might pay to go on to a another video somewhere and say, how do you sew the binding for quilting? And someone can actually probably show you on the machine, whereas I should have sewed that together, but it just was being really difficult for me. So that's how it's going to be. That's all good though, all good. Okay, it's got to be folded up. All the little bits in between. There we go. In. Now, when you've got it the other way and that's all sewn down, you've got your little pocket here. That'll be all sewn down and you will have another little pocket here to put scissors or whatever you want to, and then that's for your pins. So can you see how nice that looks on that side with that looking really lovely? Or you can even still, you don't even get to see much of that stitching on the edge, just that little bit there. So what we do in order to sew that down, we get our pin. And I'll show you how to start it. Just make sure it's a strong cotton. And I'm just making it a similar colour. Oh, seriously. And it only needs to be one thread. Okay. Oop. Maybe two. Might do two, just to make it a little, like double it over. If you got yourself a good quilting thread, which I do have somewhere, you could probably use that. There we go. Now, what we do is we go in there and we start, and you do a slip stitch to sort of, I just went in there, go underneath and up, underneath and up, and you basically, you don't see it, so underneath and up, and then sew that all the way around. You can go down, and as you go, you know, tuck stuff in with the pin, needle, underneath, up, underneath, up, and tucking things in as you go, just to make sure that they're all, so you do it fairly close together, and I'd probably use this, because sometimes you need to push through a few layers. we go. Did you get that? Can you see that? Okay. Underneath and up. Underneath and up. Okay, so I'll pause it and I'll be back. Okay, we are done. So this is what it looks like. Got the little thing there. I still may, I might even do this. Put that over there like that. That might work. Just look. Put that on there like that, maybe with a little button. I'll just pin that. And then we are going to get your little scissors. Probably put them in a scissors case like this. In there. And the little clips, which can be held against here if you wanted to. There goes my iron again. But put your pins. I might transfer some of the stuff from here onto there actually, and then we put that down that way. So get some pins and needles and whatnot and put them in there. Put them down that way like that. Might put a button there and then wrap it around. Yes, I think I definitely will, because it keeps it down further. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so pretty. So I just love it. So maybe you could probably embellish it with a few more bits and pieces that you've got. I was going to put some of these on there, but yeah, maybe something like that on there on the back. It looks pretty either way. I just like it. I may not even stitch on there, you know, but I wouldn't mind getting one of those little things that Rachel has to stick on there, you know, one of those little pin holder things. But there you go, guys. Here is your needle and pin case, which is very, very simple to do. And now I was looking at, now where are we? The other little bit that I just cut off. Where are we? To see how easy it is to do, you know, if you don't want to do this, which is, you know, a little bit harder, you can just do a zigzag. What you would do, a minute, hand 10. Okay, so you would cut this like that, cut your edges, and so that will make it so it doesn't fray. Okay, then you go on the sewing machine. I'll be back and I'll show you.